The last couple episodes, we have been sorting, are things thyroid or are they immune? We looked at root causes, we looked at symptoms, and today we're going to sort labs. What is thyroid? What is immune? How can you tell the difference? How do you sort your labs? Hashimoto's is an autoimmune condition. That means your immune system is attacking your thyroid. But knowing that is only the beginning. This summer series is built in 3 phases. Phase 1 was understanding what's happening in your body. Phase 2 is learning how to think about what you're learning. And phase 3 is building your own personal discernment framework with support. So most women with Hashimoto's have a lot of information. But what they're missing is a filter, a way to evaluate what applies to them specifically. That is what this series is now designed to give you. If you want to start with a foundation, check with the show notes for Hashimoto's Decoded, new name, Hashimoto's Decoded, Thyroid or Immune. In less than 1 hour, I will walk you through the most common root causes and help you identify where to focus. My name is Esther Yunkin. I'm a registered nurse, holistic health educator, and the host of this podcast, Health with Hashimoto's. I believe your health is a blend of 5 interconnected areas: body, mind, spirit, diet, and environment. Let's work through this together. All right, for this episode, I am going to assume that you have a full panel of labs. And when I reference a full panel, I am referring to everything I went over in episode 103. That is the thyroid labs to ask for. And I give this list. TSH, of course, every doctor orders TSH. If you say, I think my thyroid is a funny, that's the one that they order. Your TSH is not actually checking your thyroid. It's checking how much your brain is asking for more thyroid hormone. It's like a light switch. And when your lights are out, you just turn your light back on and you flip that switch. It's like your brain flipping the switch over and over, saying, I want more, I want more, I want more, please give me more. The higher the number is, it means the more your brain is asking for more. So you're actually producing less. That's the teeter-totter that really confused me. And you can listen to my own story back in, I think it's episode 2. Anyway, you're going to get your TSH, your free T4, your free T3, your reverse T3, your antibodies, and that's your TPO antibodies, and your thyroglobulin antibodies, TG. And then you're also going to get vitamin D. Those are the 7 different labs that I talked about in episode 103. I have several different labs all talking about several different episodes all talking about labs. Starting out in, I think it was episode 3. Let me look. So episode 3 is how to read your thyroid labs. It's what each value means. Episode 39, I talk about how to order your own labs, how to get labs independently. This is not available in all 50 states of America, and I don't know about other countries if you can or cannot order your own labs. I very greatly value medical autonomy, and I'm grateful to live in a state that allows for that. I think there's 3 states in the US that do not allow you to use an independent lab to get what you want. Episode 80 is how do you know if your T4 is not converting to T3 and then what to do about it. Episode 94 is talking about T3, your free T3, and then your reverse T3. What's the difference? What do they mean? What to do about it. Episode 190 is your TSH is normal, but you still feel tired. That's looking at the difference between symptoms and labs. And what do you put priority on? How do you know what to do? Episode 78, going back a little bit, is appointment prep. It's questions for your doctor, thyroid questions. And a lot of those questions have to do with labs. I also have the 10 thyroid questions for your doctor. That is a free PDF. If you haven't downloaded that, get that free down in the show notes. And the last page is a printable page so that you can just print it out and you take that page with you to the doctor. So you have all of the questions there. You have space to write your notes. And it just makes things easy for you. All right, so let's sort. Thyroid or immune, you have 2 different buckets. Hashimoto's is 2 buckets. It is your thyroid system, and that is under attack by your immune system. So you have to look at both things. What is thyroid and what is immune, and what can you do about it? So this is how I break down those labs. TSH is thyroid. Like I said, it's not specifically testing your thyroid, but it's your brain asking for more. So it tells us a good idea of how your thyroid is doing, which is why it's the most common lab done. But it doesn't tell us exactly the whole picture, which is why I want a full panel. The free T4 and free T3 are also in the thyroid bucket. Those two different labs are telling us how much your thyroid is producing. That's the free T4. And it's also telling us about the conversion. So the T4 is the hormone that your thyroid creates. It is like a blank key. It's like the key that you get at the hardware store, and it is the exact same for everybody. And then you take it to the counter and they cut it. Your free T3 is the cut key. That's the one that works in the lock. That is the active hormone. And so your free T4 converts to free T3. Those are both thyroid buckets, obviously, thyroid hormone. Your reverse T3 is also in the thyroid bucket. Your reverse T3 is a little trickier, though. It is your thyroid bucket, for sure. It's a thyroid hormone. But this one also has to do with your immune system and inflammation and how your liver is doing. There's a lot of different things that can slow down the conversion. So while the reverse T3 is absolutely thyroid bucket, we also use that as an indicator to look at other things. If you are feeling miserable and your free T4 is great and your reverse T3 is really high, then you're like, we need to look at your stress. We need to look at your root causes. We need to look at what else is going on, because your body is saying no. It's saying we're not going to convert the free T4 into free T3 or T4 into T3. We're not going to make that conversion because you need to prioritize rest. So reverse T3 is still in the thyroid bucket, but it also tells us more. Now, what about the immune bucket? That one is the antibodies. Antibodies are absolutely immune. They are created by your immune system. So TPO antibodies and your thyroglobulin antibodies, those are the two different tests that are done typically for thyroid if you're getting a full panel. There are also other antibodies that you can check, like if you're worried about Graves' disease or anything else, there are other antibodies to check, which would be in the immune function. Sometimes I also request a C-reactive protein. That is a measure of how much inflammation is in the body, and I want that one checked on myself about once a year, maybe once every other year, to make sure that I am keeping my inflammation in check, because that's a huge root cause. The more inflamed you are, the more your immune system is acting up, because it's reacting to all of that inflammation. It's reacting to the stress happening in your body. So sometimes that one is also going to be ordered, and that would be in the immune bucket as well. Vitamin D is not strictly on the thyroid lab panel, but I always want it because vitamin D has a lot to do with your thyroid working optimally, and it has a ton to do with your immune system. So vitamin D, I also put in the immune bucket. That is 7 labs, 8 if you count the C-reactive protein or CRP. Most women come out of the office for that first visit with just one. They just come out with the TSH. I want you to have a full panel done because I want you to be able to know what's going on. Even if somebody gets a lot of thyroid labs, sometimes that reverse T3 is missing and the doctor's like, no, we don't order that here. I had one client and she told me that she thought it was her entire state. They did not run the reverse T3. And I was like, I know that's wrong because I've talked to and worked with people in your state and they do run it. It just might be your clinic or your specific doctor who doesn't run reverse T3, doesn't know how to ask or why to ask for it. But when I'm working with somebody, I do want to know that reverse T3 because it tells us so much about what's happening on the conversion level between T4 and T3. So that is how I sort those primary thyroid labs. And again, that episode was 103. If you want the list, I'll probably put the list of these labs in this blog post too. And then, of course, drop down to the show notes and get the free PDF, the 10 questions to ask your doctor. And that will help you understand, what else to ask. If you're asking for these labs, then you also want to know why and what else to ask for. So head down to the show notes, click the links, and I will see you next week. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. Please discuss any changes with your trusted healthcare provider. To take your next step, join our school community and explore the courses available there. You do not have to figure your health out alone. So that is school, SKOOL.com, and it is the Health with Hashimoto's community. I'll see you next time on the Health with Hashimoto's podcast.